our team, our community. This is CondorsTown, and this is another Energy Condors connection. Now, here's Erik Fox and Ryan Holt.
What's up, B-Town? You are not losing your mind. It is a Wednesday, not a Thursday, but you know what? We like to do a little cray-cray right now, and that's what we're doing here for another Energy Condors connection. My name is Erik Fox from Energy 95.3. I think we just got a little freeze up on the other side of the screen with our friend Ryan Holt, who'll join us back in momentarily. We're going to be talking about all things CondorsTown. So we're going to be talking about the Edmonton Oilers, what's going on with them. They're kind of happy right now. Also going to be talking about what's going on with Baco. It's been a challenging January, but I think a January in which has a lot behind it, in which we're going to talk about that today. As soon as we get Ryan back in here, technology is a thing that happens, and which makes it kind of hard to do these sometimes, but that's what we got to do. So Ryan just disconnected. He'll be back here in 1 second. Once again, the Energy Condors connection. We check in with Ryan Holt for the Bakersfield Condors about all things CondorsTown. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Definitely a cold Wednesday. You don't have to go inside the Mechanics Bank Arena to get some coldness today. All you got to do is just step outside here. So maybe this would be the perfect time to do that outdoor hockey game that we did a few years ago right here in B-Town over at Bakersfield College. You never know. We'll see what's going on with that. And I think we have him right now. So let me pop him back up on the screen. That is Ryan Holt.
I'm fully wired now. So if there's nothing that works, I'm blaming everything else. I'm fully wired.
Well, I just blabbed for a minute and a half talking about how cold it is in town, and also talking about, this would be the perfect weather to do that outdoor hockey game we had a while back in BC.
It feels like that year where, like, every weekend it rained, and every time we tried to have public skating, it rained, and every time we tried to play a hockey game outdoors, it rained. That kind of feels like this year. So, yeah, it's a little ode and nod back to basically this time, what was that, 2017? So, going on 6 years now.
I was in the stands for that game, so I remember it well. Trust me. I'm sure you do.
Have you dried out since?
I still have probably some wetness on that jacket I wore that day. Let's jump into it. We talk things all things Condors, and of course the Edmonton Oilers, which own the Condors. So let's jump into that first. Not a bad time to be an Oiler right now.
Yeah, 4 straight wins. Evander Kane comes back. Unfortunately, Kyler Yamamoto looks like he's going to be out for a little bit of time. But, what I always like to say, these things kind of even themselves out. Everyone was kind of like, oh, Kane's coming back. Condors are going to get 3 or 4 guys. Again, I like to say, wait till you see the whites of their eyes. So we do get Marcus Niemelainen back, which is a big help defensively. Kane being back is huge for the Oilers. He's a top line player for them, a guy that, they can depend upon, in the ilk of McDavid and Draisaitl. So great to have him back. He looked good last night. He said he felt no ill effects. So credit to him too, because that's a scary injury, and, one that, he could have probably taken until probably the end of February. And here we are mid-January, and he's back and, looking like his old self. So that's great. Jack Campbell's been great. Obviously Stuart Skinner and wife Chloe had their first child over the weekend. So that's great news for them. But, in their stead, needed someone to step up, and Jack Campbell won 3 straight games. So that's great for all involved. And yeah, they're rolling, and Vinny Desharnais looked good in his week up in Edmonton. And, he's going to stick here at least for the time being and see what he can bring. So good all around. And now they've tightened things up in the Pacific.
Well, there's been a little bit of a, injury bug that has hit there. It looks like they're really finding their stride through all the little transitions and changes they've had to do through this. Yeah,
and I think, hallmarks of Jay Woodcroft's team have been kind of the second half. We saw that even in Bakersfield with the second half of the year, that first season, 17 straight wins. It didn't happen until around this time. The Oilers last year made a coaching change, for Jay and Dave. It was still about 3 weeks away. So it hasn't even hit the year anniversary of them being up in Edmonton. So, and they turned, what was a non-playoff team into a Final Four team. So I think the Oilers are in a good spot. Do I think everything is secure? No, I don't. But, I think that they've proven that when they're healthy and when they're going, they are the team that finished last year, a couple of wins away from the Stanley Cup.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. And, of course, it's a good time to start firing on all cylinders as we're over the halfway point here in the season. Yeah. Let's go talk about, of course, we talk about everything that happens there affects us as well here in CondorsTown. You're talking about we have some people there rejoining us. And what are the lines and everything going to be looking like as that happens?
Yeah, Niemelainen coming back is big. I think Jason Demers is healthy as he's been, for a little bit. So he's missed the last 2 weeks. So good to maybe get him back on the blue line as well. So those are two big additions on the blue line. We kind of talked about if you have 10 defensemen, let's just say on the Condors roster, right? Like some of those guys might be in Edmonton, some of those guys are in Bakersfield, some of those guys are in Fort Wayne. The Condors were without their top five. If you had listed off, who do you want for five defensemen? They were without the top five. So to get Demers and to get Niemelainen back on the blue line is a big help. This has been a team that's played 6 1-goal games. Last 2 games have gone to overtime or a shootout. Would have liked to get that one on Saturday. It was a big crowd here in Bakersfield. Got it to a shootout, got a point, but you lead 3-1 after one. You lead into the third. You want to put 2 points in the bag and get out of there. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But that being said, you played 6 1-goal games. You're in every game. Keep it going, and good things will happen.
Looking at the month so far, I'm just scrolling through the scores here. I mean, it's literally every single game this month has been a 1-goal game. What does that do to the morale? Because I know there have been some tough losses there when, it looked like it was going to go our direction. But, things happen as puck luck, as they call it sometimes.
Yeah, I think there could be some frustration that sets in, but I think it can also be, hey, we're right there. It's not like we have to make drastic changes and all of a sudden, things for things to turn around. It's a goal here, a shot here. You play a really good Coachella Valley team on Friday and you outplay them for the entirety of that game, and you find yourself trying to scratch and claw and get a point. You feel good about that point. On the flip side, on Saturday, you faced a Tucson team that had struggled. You led that game. You didn't dominate for the majority of it, but you probably should have got 2 points out of it. So, I think tonight's a big one. San Diego's been fairly not good the entire year. So this is one you got to put in the back pocket and get on a bus tomorrow and get to LAX and get off to Tucson and start a 4-game road trip. So, we talked about this stretch being, the stretch where the Condors need to make some hay. We got a point Saturday night. That's all well and good, but wins have to start coming here. You get San Diego, Tucson for 2, San Diego for 2, San Jose, Tucson. I mean, these need to start getting into the win column for this team to start climbing up the standings.
And we're talking about how the Oilers really affect everything happening here in Condorstown. You got a couple struggling teams there with Anaheim and Arizona, which their rosters have been hit hard. So that obviously affects the goals and the Roadrunners.
Yeah.
And how do you just put that little death punch in there?
Yeah. It's about when you face teams like this, like a San Diego, right? They're, they have 11 wins all year. They're, 11-26 or whatever they are. When you face teams like this, and when you're a better team, and the Condors are a better team, regardless of what records even might say, you have to match the compete of the opposition, and when you face teams that have struggled, that have had that seed of doubt, San Diego is maybe the best goaltender in the division, certainly top 3 goaltender in the league in Lukas Dostal. And when you face a goalie like that, he can steal the game, so if you don't match the compete effort, if you're not outwilling your opposition, he can steal a game on you. But that being said, if you outwork them, chances are you're going to win the hockey game. You should win the hockey game, but you have to match it. And if you don't, that's when, a goaltender like that can steal a game for a team.
What about the double games you got in Tucson this weekend?
Yeah, another big set. We've had great success in Tucson over the years. I don't know what it is. I think we'd won 10 straight games there up until this year. We dropped 2 back in October. But again, Tucson's a different beast than a San Diego. Tucson's a physical, veteran, heavy team. We had, against the ropes on Saturday and didn't put them away. Their goaltending's been shaky. They're the opposite of San Diego. They have offensive firepower that can outscore you, but their goaltending's been really shaky. San Diego's the opposite. They haven't scored many goals, but their goaltending has been, elite, and the only reason they've won 11 games. So, it's a different beast, 2 different style of teams, but It's big to get 2 points tonight and get off to Tucson because you can't be dropping games to San Diego if you're looking to make games up in the standings.
Well, we're going to see a lot of San Diego and a lot of Tucson through the rest of January. Of course, tonight, game is going on here in B-Town. People want to check out the game. What they got to do?
6:30 p.m. Puck drops. Doors open at 5:30. Tickets are available at CondorsTown.com. We've got Star Wars night coming up at the end of the month. That's on the 28th. Going to be an already big crowd. We're 11 days out, I think, from that game, and tickets are flying. So get them now for Saturday, and a couple of big crowds coming up in February and March. We only have 2 Saturday home games between now and March 4th. So. There's not a lot of opportunity to see this team over the next couple of months on home ice. So take advantage of it and get your tickets.
And, of course, the double shot in Tucson this weekend. People want to check out the game. What do they got to do?
Yeah, 6 o'clock puck drops Pacific in Tucson. They're an hour ahead. So AHL TV is your best way. They just dropped the mid-season price point on AHL TV. It's available on everything, Apple TV and Fire Stick and all those devices that I don't know how to operate, but it's available on all of them, and you don't even have to plug in a cord anymore. It's fantastic.
Well, let's have all the good luck this coming up weekend, and of course, next week we'll connect up again and talk about all the W's we're going to get in the next 3 games, right?
Absolutely. We'll be back. We'll be back in the hotel room, I think, next Thursday. We'll be in San Diego, so looking forward to that, and hopefully have a good backdrop for you.
Well, we'll see what happens because make sure it looks a little less like a prison cell this time.
I kind of like the prison cell.
Or at least wear a jumpsuit. If you're going to go all orange, at least go all in. You just wear one of the Oiler orange colors.
Exactly. Now we're talking.
Ryan Holt for the Bakersfield Condors. My name is Erik Fox from Energy 95.3. And once again, every single week we connect up right here to get you all caught up on all things CondorsTown with Energy Condors Connection.